Hi, in this video we're going to talk about dual band wireless repeaters and learn how they actually work. But the information in this video is going to make much more sense if you have already watched my previous video where I talked about single band wireless repeaters. So if you haven't watched the previous video, I would highly recommend to just pause this video right now and go back and watch the other one and then continue here so we can make sure we are on the same page. Alright, so we're going to use the same example as the previous video. This time though, the wireless router and repeater are both dual band. There is a 2.4 GHz and also a 5 GHz radio available in each of them. Basically now, compared to the single band wireless repeater, there is an extra radio available, which is going to give me more options when it comes to connecting the repeater to the wireless router and also connecting the clients to the repeater. For example, one way would be to use the 2.4 GHz radio for the connection between the repeater and the wireless router, and then rebroadcast by using the 2.4 GHz and also the 5 GHz radios. Now, for this client that is connected to the 2.4 GHz network of the repeater, the situation is not that much different from being connected to a single band repeater, right? Basically, we are not taking advantage of the dual band feature. I mean, the same radio and channel is used for the backhaul and also for the clients. And we already talked about this in the previous video. But what if we connect the client to the 5 GHz network? This way different radios are used for the backhaul and for the client, which means the repeater can actually use both of them at the same time. I mean, it can, for example, receive a packet from the client and at the same time send one to the wireless router. Whereas before it had to first receive it from the client and then it could send one to the wireless router. So technically this should improve the speed and latency for this client, right? Yes and no. Yes if the network stays like this, and no if other clients also connect to the 2.4 GHz network, which in that case the performance of the backhaul link will be impacted by the extra medium contention caused by the 2.4 GHz clients. So it should be much better if I don't even broadcast the 2.4 GHz network on the repeater and basically dedicate it completely to the backhaul link. Now let's use the 5 GHz band for this link between the repeater and the router. In this case, if the client connects to the 5 GHz network, again we are not taking advantage of the dual band feature. Actually, the same radio and same channel is used on both sides. This time though, it is the 5 GHz band which is using more advanced wireless technology, and therefore it is usually faster than the 2.4 GHz band. So it is actually very much likely that this is going to have a better performance than this. But if we move the client and connect it to the 2.4 GHz network, then the repeater can send and receive at the same time, which is good, but as we saw earlier, it's going to be even better if we do not rebroadcast on the same frequency as the backhaul link. Now the question is, which one is the best setup? This one or this one? It is actually very hard to predict without testing because each environment is different. Maybe there is a bad noise here on the 2.4 GHz band and I should not use it for this link. And in that case, I might be better off using the 5 GHz frequency band here. Or maybe the 2.4 GHz is just so bad in the entire house that if I only use the 5 GHz band, I get much better performance than either of these. Okay, so let's recap what we talked about so far. The wireless router is dual band and is broadcasting a 2.4 GHz network on channel 1 and a 5 GHz network on channel 44. We also have a dual band repeater to extend the range of our Wi-Fi. Now, if I only use the 2.4 GHz radio to connect the repeater to the wireless router and also to rebroadcast the wireless network for the clients, it is basically going to be the same as using a single band wireless repeater, which is not perfect. If I only use the 5 GHz band though, we're gonna have the same problems. However, the 5 GHz radio is usually better than the 2.4 GHz radio, so this setup is expected to perform better. We learned if we use different radios here and here, for example 2.4 GHz here and 5 GHz here, the repeater can actually use both of them at the same time, which is going to improve the performance for this client. In this case, because the repeater is using a different radio for the clients, it can broadcast it on a different channel than the wireless router, and these two networks can coexist with no interference and no problem. We also learned that this situation is going to be best if we do not rebroadcast this radio for the clients. And in other words, we just dedicate it completely for the connection between the repeater and the wireless router. That being said, it is actually very hard to predict which one of these would work best for me, because it is actually very hard to predict things in the wireless world. There are many factors involved that can impact the performance. Also, each environment is different. For example, while this setup might work for someone, this one might work better for another one. Or as I said earlier, maybe the quality of the 2.4 GHz radio is so bad in my area that I would be better off with this setup. Fun fact, I actually used to live in a place that for a weird/interesting reason, this actually would work better than any of these. I even made a video about it and explained what exactly was going on. I'll put the link to that video in the video description in case you want to check it out. So I guess now I know what different options I have to use a dual band repeater, and which one is more likely gonna give me a better performance and which one probably not. But since it is very difficult to predict speed and performance in wireless, I'm gonna actually install and test the best selling wireless repeater on Amazon and see what results I get in my house, and which of these configurations is actually gonna give me the best performance. And that's gonna be the very next video, and if by the time you're watching this that video is ready, the link is gonna be there, otherwise another video is gonna be there. But until then, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you liked it. Thumbs up if you liked it, and share it if you think others might like it too, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.